Ever catch yourself saying, don't be silly, there's nothing to be scared of, or just do it, don't make such a big deal out of it? These are common things parents say to anxious children, and I am guilty of so many of these and more, but they have a huge negative impact on our kids. In this video, I want to cover crucial things not to say to our kids and how little tweaks in our words can make a huge positive impact. Let's get into it. I want to answer 3 questions that I get asked that a lot in my private practice with clients. Those questions are, how and why do certain things we say increase our child's anxiety? What are some more effective things to say that will help our kids handle their anxiety better? And how can we as parents validate our kids while still encouraging independence? So question number 1, how and why do certain things we say increase a child's anxiety? Reassurance that unintentionally fuels anxiety. So for example, words in here might be something like, don't worry about it, or there's nothing to be scared of. Well, this seems like a way of reassuring our kids. What we're doing in these moments is we're invalidating their feelings. We're minimizing what's going on for them. It might not seem like such a big deal to us, but to them, in their journey in this world, there's a lot of things that are quite big to them that they need to talk about. So this dismisses their feelings. It makes it feel misunderstood. And in the end, they don't have a reassurance of anxiety. The second one is over-explaining or giving too much information. So sometimes we want to soothe anxiety by giving long explanations about why something is the way it is. So somehow in our minds, if we give them facts and we give them logic and we give them the process of what's going on, that this will somehow be a solution to help them get it so they're calm. But this doesn't work. Offering too much detail can actually overwhelm a child. So another reason why this one doesn't work is that children tend to fixate on the possibilities that have negative outcomes. So if you're giving a really long explanation with all the possible outcomes and all the possible consequences, a truly anxious child is going to pick up on all the negatives that you just said, or the potential of those negatives, and they're going to fixate on those. So now you've given them more reason to be anxious instead of alleviating some of that anxiety. Brains also like to try and understand. So if you give them a lot of details in your explanation, cognitively, with their age of development, they might not be able to make sense of everything that you said. And so what the brain is going to do is weave together some of the details that they do remember, and their stories are often so much worse than what's actually reality. And so now again, we've increased their anxiety, trying to solve their problems immediately. This one is a little bit of a challenge because we as parents want to take away that negative experience for them. We don't want them to feel pain. We don't want to see them go through a challenge. The problem is, if we fix it too early, we are not giving our children the opportunity to sit with that emotion so that they can expand their ability to tolerate that experience, that emotion, so that next time they can feel that emotion without falling apart as much. It's like going to the gym and lifting reps. The more times a child can go through an experience with you, experience the emotions in the safety and the presence of you, they can increase their ability to tolerate that without falling apart. So essentially, you are their coping strategy, working gym reps with this emotion so that they're able to, over the course of time, get used to it. Problem solving immediately also minimizes that experience. Every single one of us, adults included, want to feel felt. We want to be able to describe what's going on with us. We want someone to say, hey, I get it. I've been there before. I'm going to go through the muck with you. Tell me more. And to feel like our heart's been heard, our emotions have been heard, someone understands our experience and our thoughts. we need to do this for our kids as well. So while it's hard to sit with them through some of these emotions, sitting and listening and not problem solving right away honors their experience and teaches them that they're valuable, that their experience is valuable, and that as they go through it, they feel felt, that someone gets them. And then once they feel felt, then we can go to the problem solving space that we do with them, not for them. The last one is expecting immediate calm. Children process things slower, go through things much slower. They don't have the same skills and capacity as we do to be able to sort through things, make sense of things, problem solve. And they haven't had the amount of life experience that we've had to be able to realize that things will eventually just calm down. Children need time to process their anxiety, and telling them to calm down too quickly doesn't give them the chance to do this. One thing I love telling parents is that we as adults run about 100 kilometers an hour or 100 miles an hour, and our kids actually run 2 miles an hour. And so while it feels like they're never going to work through something, they're never going to get over it, what's actually reality is that they are 98 kilometers or miles slower than we are. And we have to go it at their pace to be able to work through it, for them to be able to grow. So here, the key is to slow down. So number 2, what are some more effective things to say that will help our kids handle their anxiety better? The first one is it's okay to feel anxious about this. The simple acknowledgement helps kids feel validated, helps them feel like there's nothing wrong with them, makes them feel like you're on their team so that you guys can fight it together. And it kind of creates this yes brain response so that they are able to hear you better and able to walk through it with you better once they realize that it's normal and it's okay. The second really good thing to say is tell me a little bit about what you're thinking. So encouraging them to talk about their feelings helps them feel heard, helps them feel validated. And if they don't have the words, you can help them with the words by saying, I wonder if you're feeling this way, or I wonder if you're feeling that way. Because when they're going through something and they're in their lower brain, they actually lose the words to be able to describe what's going on. And if you can reflect that for them, it helps give that to them so that they can make sense of it. Another way to do this is to have a series of emotions pictures that you can show them and say, okay, point to the feeling that you're feeling right now. And then you can reflect back what emotion that is so that you're helping organize it a little bit for them. In this way, you are encouraging them to talk more so that you can understand what's going on and then help them understand what's going on. The next one would be, let's focus on what we can control. And the two of you can brainstorm together in that situation some of the things that you can control. By guiding your child to focus on more actionable steps, it kind of empowers them. It gives them a sense of control because they know what to do next. And you can build this together. And by building it together, you're teaching them that problem solving muscle, that problem solving strategy. So again, in the future, this is something they're better able to do on their own. Another one that you can say to them is take your time. I am here with you. Offering them reassurance that you're present, you're there with them, that you're going to journey with them, helps them feel less pressure to rush through their emotions. Rushing through the emotions increases the anxiety. It causes them to stay in their lower brain where they don't have any words or capacity to understand or explain what's going on. And so by letting them know you're there with them, as long as it takes them, you want to hear, you're again creating that safe space to go through something at their pace so they can make sense of it and eventually learn how to cope with it. Another really good thing to say is, what can we do to make this less scary? So here you're still helping them with the problem solving. You're teaching them to look at different angles and be flexible in terms of what they can do to change the situation and make it better for them. So instead of jumping in with solutions, you're getting their creative ideas on how to change things. They have really, really great creative brains when their thinking brain is on. And without you jumping in to solve it, they are now able to come up with some really good ideas. And it's very empowering for them to be able to do this on their own. It allows them to take ownership of their feelings and of the solutions to fix what's going on for them. So empowering. Question number 3. How can we as parents balance validating our kids while still encouraging independence? We need to validate first, guide second. We need to start with sentences like, this is hard for you. I can see that this makes you worried. I know that you're anxious about this. This helps them feel like they've been heard. This helps organize what's going on inside of them. This helps them know that you're on their team and that you're going to journey with them. Once they feel like they've been heard, then you can guide them towards problem solving and gently encourage them, gently challenge them to move forward with their anxiety. Then you want to encourage small steps towards independence. Think of it like a staircase. At the bottom is where they are right now. At the top is where you want them to be, where they need to be to meet this challenge of whatever's making them scared or anxious. Each step on that staircase is a mini challenge to get towards that top step, that victory, that conquering of their anxiety. As they take each step, you want to be able to encourage them for all of their efforts and small successes moving forward. Because as you do that, they're able to see that they're making progress. And as you do that, it's going to propel them and motivate them to want to move forward and to keep challenging themselves until they get to that top step. Let them experience manageable discomfort. What do I mean by this? If with anxiety, your child avoids, they're never going to learn to manage or cope with that anxiety. And worse, the more they avoid, the more anxiety there is. Anxiety likes to avoid, and so it's going to grow and grow and grow. So avoidance is not the name of the game. But also with anxiety, you don't want to flood them. By throwing them into the fire, their brain is in fight or flight mode, and it's not getting messages that they're safe and they're finding successes and they're able to do this. So you really want to find that balance of small mini challenges so they're able to learn to cope with that little bit of distress while still grow in that. That is the sweet spot. Another one, and this is for everything that they do, not just in managing this particular anxiety, but you want to make sure that you praise their efforts, not the product. So the problem with praising the product, which we often all do, if you think of your child coming home with a report card and they get an A or they get a B or they get something that's even better than they normally would do, and you get so excited and like, such a good job on that report card, such a good job on getting that grade. Well, now you've set a bar of expectation and they're going to continue to try and meet that bar. And the problem with that is that they might not always be able to do that. And that bar is always moving. And so if you have an anxious child, they're always going to be anxious about trying to meet that bar. And then the bar moves and trying to meet that bar. And then they're going to feel shame if they can't always meet that expectation. What you want to do is praise the effort. So if your child comes home with a really good mark, instead of praising the mark, you want to make note of the effort that they put into that. Wow, you worked so hard to get that B. You must be so proud of yourself and all the energy that you put into studying. That, praising that motivation, praising that effort, makes them want to keep putting that effort into everything that they do. And the last tip is to make sure that you're modeling calm behavior, because children learn by what they see more than what they hear you say. So that common catchphrase, do as I say, not as I do, doesn't work. Children watch you. Even when they're unconsciously watching you. They model you. Why do they model you? Because they're attached to you. One of the very important roots of attachment is sameness. They want to be like those they are a part of. They want to be like their group. So they're going to model everything that you do. So your best parenting card is to model what you want to see your kids do. So if you want them calm, model calmness. If you want them problem solving, model problem solving. They will follow if you're consistent with what you're showing you want them to learn. Helping kids manage anxiety can be like a tightrope, right? You don't want to tilt too much this way because you could cause anxiety, and you don't want to tilt too much this way because that could also cause anxiety. And there's always this balance. Hopefully some of these strategies help you so that you can help your child with anxiety, and you can help them learn to cope with it, and you can help them learn independence as they grow. If you want to learn more about how to validate first and help your child problem solve second so that they can grow in their emotional regulation capacities, watch the video on the screen next. If you want more personalized support, click the link below for the Empowered Moms membership community. It's there that you and I can have personal conversations. I can cheer you on. I can help you figure out different situations with your kids. And we can just do life together with the amazing community of moms that are already a part of that. Until next time, see you soon.